What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the final show this week of Investing Bros. We'll be back again Monday, but it is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Go ahead and smash that like button. We got a great show lined up for you guys today. Got some TA to talk about. Both Bitcoin, XRP, might take a look even at that Litecoin chart a couple of days after its halving, but we got some news as well. I'll go ahead and spoil it, though. Teaser. Guys, Biden is not a Bitcoin maxi. Those laser eyes are not for Bitcoin, but what are they for? Because it sure did start a little bit of a conversation over on X.com, formerly known as Twitter. We're going to be talking about that and a lot more. Also, speaking of X, there's a trading platform potentially coming soon. What does that mean for you and your crypto trading, stock trading? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. So make sure you stay tuned for the entire episode. Go ahead and smash that like button. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing to one of the fastest growing channels here on crypto. We're new, we're young, we're about to hit 4,000 subscribers. And I still think by the end of this year, I think that we can definitely get 2023, let's say I think we can get to 6,000, maybe push towards 7,000, but we need your help for sure. Speaking of us, though, I'm going to introduce my co-host for you guys this morning. That is Mr. T Shroom, coming to you from Gainesville, Florida. T Shroom, how you doing?
Well, I'm better than I deserve, Tim. I'm
good.
doing really, really well. And we've got a guest today. We've got Crypto Grinds coming onto the show. He's going to be joining a little bit later. I'm excited for him to be coming on. Definitely excited for that. But I do have a quote for us today, which comes to us from Bruce Cameron. Bruce Cameron. Don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but he's got a great quote here about our furry friends, which is, "You can usually tell that a man is good if he has a dog who loves him." Now, Tim, what are your thoughts on that quote?
I love dogs, and you guys know I have dogs, and they do love me. I don't know if that's true though, because I have absolutely seen people that I did not think were very good people who had a dog who loved them. But that just tells you the testimony of how great dogs are, not how great men are. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and pass on this quote, T-Shroom. I don't know if I fully agree.
Wow.
But I do agree that dogs are good. So that's where I'm gonna land this morning. But good quote, T-Shroom. No Dwight Schrute quote of the day, guys. I'll come back when I think of some new stuff. We kind of ran through all the goodies. Maybe we'll give it a couple weeks and go back through some goodies again. Man, it is time to continue to move on, though. Before we jump into the crypto content, though, let's do some reading of names. But I did put in the chat, guys. I went ahead and posted over on X. I posted the link to the video. Go ahead and go over there and like that message, retweet it, and we'll be reading more of your guys' names at community later on in the show. But help us continue to spread the word of the Investing Bros. Here's the thing. We're going to start a new movement here, Shroom. The Investing Bros movement. We're going to take over. We're going to be everywhere we go. T-Shroom and I were talking about this the other day. I don't know if you guys noticed, but anytime that either myself, T-Shroom, or Piper are over there on ATB, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there is no community that turns out greater than Investing Bros, despite the fact that we don't even have 4,000 subscribers yet. What that means is that maybe we're not the largest crypto community yet. And keyword yet, we're getting there. But we are absolutely the most potent, the most awesome, the most engaged. And that is because you guys are so cool. So we're starting an Investing Bros movement. We're taking over. Make sure wherever you guys see us, wherever you guys go and watch your other YouTube content, you're pushing some love for Investing Bros. We're gonna do big and bad things over here. My bad's not the right way. Let's go ahead and read some names here, though. I do think, again, my pinned message is covering this. But T-Shroom, is there a message before Crypto Pew Pew Cruise?
No.
Maybe there is. No. Okay, so Crypto Pew Pew Cruise was our first commenter of the day.
Correct.
And it does look like he says he's going to be in Atlanta next week. Make sure that you DM me, Crypto Pew Pew Cruise. Anyone who wants to come to Atlanta, I would love to meet you. Just DM me. We do have a new building policy. You have to have, we have to know you're coming. Our front desk has to know you're coming, and you'll get a visitor pass and sign in. But you guys are more than welcome to come meet me. Just let me know ahead of time so I can get you set up correctly. But can't wait to meet you, Crypto Pew Pew. Gia S is here this morning. A mellow fellow with the blue wrench is here as well. Crypto Trade saying third. Give me that. Get some, Tim. Are you third? It looks like you're fourth, Crypto Trades. Just going to say.
Dang.
Just going to say. Eric Wallen says yes. Laser Eyes Brandon. We'll have more on that later. It's not what we think. Well, I don't know if any of us actually thought it, but it's not what we hope. I don't think Brandon is coming out any pro crypto anytime soon. Who else do we have here? Justin Eubanks is here this morning. Peter Provost is here. Let's see. Justin Eubanks, Ninja Glock, Crypto Ben Franklin, everyone's favorite non-president, is here. Who else do we have? Crypto Alchemist is here this morning. Starting any fires, Crypto Alchemist, anytime recently? Just so you guys know, Alchemist is actually a firefighter, so he puts out the fires, but maybe he starts them too. Just because you put them out doesn't mean you don't start them as well. Who else do we have here this morning? It's a Crypto Mario is here. Sativio Shramoto, CBD Suddy is here. Elliot Locke, Chaos Incorporated. Who else do we have? Stephen E. Shrum, Wayne Kerr. Don't say that too fast or too quick because it could be inappropriate, but he is here. Who else do we have? Elo Brown with the blue wrench is in chat. Katzman is here. Let's see. Who else do we have? We'll get like 3 more, and then we'll go ahead and move on. Brakoshi Nodanero is here. One of the best names. Steve B is here. And the last one of the day, Mr. Juice Toes, or Mrs. I don't know. Maybe Juice Toes is a girl. Welcome, everybody. I know there's a couple of names here that I did not get to read. And once again, it is not because I don't love you. It is simply time to go ahead and get into our content for the day. So if you guys are excited, once again, smash those like buttons. We had over 60 people in here just a second ago, 34 likes at the moment. Let's get those likes up. What do you think, T-Shirt, before we jump in here, what do you think our goal should be for likes today?
Ooh, it's going to be a tough one. I would say probably 130.
130 likes, and T Shroom is going to do a backflip live on camera.
Yeah.
So you got to get us there if you want to see that. So let's go ahead and share my screen here. T Shroom looking at our economic outlook this morning, coming in fresh here just about a half hour ago. We got the unemployment rate coming in a little bit lower. Guess what that means, guys? That means people got jobs. Guess what that means? That means Jerome Powell says, ooh, can we keep raising rates? Do you think we can keep raising rates now? So this is positive for, again, if you are one of the people that got a job, congratulations. We're very happy for you. But for the rest of us, this could mean Jerome Powell stays hawkish. Let's see what he says here in just a couple of weeks. Non-farm payroll came in at 187,000, which means higher than last month, but lower than expected. So kind of interesting stuff there as well. Looking forward to next week, though, everybody. Fed Bowman does speak next Monday at 8:30. Isn't necessarily the most important thing in the world, but anytime anyone from the Fed speaks, it's definitely worth mentioning and saying, hey, did they say anything of consequence? More than likely, nothing will be said, but we'll have to see. On Wednesday, it looks like we have the EIA crude oil stocks change, so could be interesting. Maybe T-Shroom has more thoughts on that. Anything you think about that, or is that kind of inconsequential?
It's not going to be a super big influence, no.
Okay. Looking forward further on in the week, core inflation rate comes out. That'll be important. Inflation rate, of course, too. Core inflation rate, month over month and year over year. So let's pay attention to both of those. And inflation rate, both month over month and year over year, could be really important, especially as we're watching Bitcoin dropping. Army Piper just said, I don't have a job. I'm sorry, Piper. It seems like you make a lot of money, though, other ways. You have your ways. Friday next week, Great Britain gets their GDP numbers coming out. So those will come out. Make sure next Friday you join in. Even though Friday, historically Fridays are some of the lesser viewed days in the crypto world, but sometimes some of the greatest information gets talked about on Fridays. So make sure you guys are not one of those. Make sure you're not part of the crypto culture that tunes out on Fridays. You need to watch every single Friday show here on Investing Bros. Be a part of the change. Let's keep moving on, though, over to liquidations. Now, we're seeing some red over here, which does mean that there were more shorts liquidated than long liquidations. But just in case you're getting too excited, come over here and look. 4.17 longs versus 4.39 short. That's not that big of a difference. So even though we're seeing 8.5 million liquidations on Bitcoin and it's red, it kind of was evenly split. So we're finding a little bit of a wrestling zone where both bears and bulls are not really not really taking any more control than the other. Looking at Ethereum this morning, kind of a similar thing. It's a little bit more of a split, but it's red, but only 3.2 million of that 5.5 million are short liquidations. The rest, 2.38, are actually our long liquidations. Litecoin continuing to liquidate those longs as well after they're having, like we said, we're going to kind of mention those here in just a little bit. By the way, if we get done with TA early today, instead of just continuing to find other coins to do TA on, we're going to engage with chat. If it's not 9:30 when it's time to transfer over to the stock market, we'll do some chat engagement before we actually get into our stock market open. Let's keep moving on, though, with our market open here this morning. Truflation. Now, tell me I'm wrong. Yesterday, this number was lower, yet it's saying we're still down ticking. Maybe it's saying year-on-year change, we're down 0.0. And that can't be right because a year ago, we're definitely way higher. So I don't know why the number is a little bit higher than it was yesterday, yet it's saying that we moved to the downside. But it is still coming in at a very low 2.28 here, Truflation. But again, only if Jerome Powell used that chart. Moving over to our FOMC predictions this morning is kind of similar where we saw yesterday. 81.5% still predicting that September will see a pause. Let's check in, though, on when that first rate cut prediction is. March is picking up a little bit of momentum, so this is actually a good thing. This should respond with a little more positivity in an investor's mind. So keep our eyes on this as it continues to fluctuate between May, March, maybe even can we get it to where we expect January. We're not quite there yet. 51% still saying we should be paused in January, but we'll keep you fixed on that. Now, what is curious to me this morning, guys, is that our Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is coming in at 54. Of course, yesterday we had a 52 on the show. And what makes this really curious, again, and another reason why this is kind of a negative thing in my opinion, let's go take a look at the chart very quickly. I want to go down to the hourly chart. You know what? Let's just do daily. We'll do daily. That's fine. We'll do daily. And I want you guys to look at why this is curious to me, because technically speaking, I guess theoretically speaking, we did have a higher close than the day before. We're looking at this level right here. The close on that, let's see, 29,174. The previous day's close was 29,164. So we're talking about a $10 difference. This green candle is the equivalency of $10, and yet we ticked up 2 points on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. To me, that's a negative. That's continuing to kind of reset this. That says even though the price is sitting lower, that greed is getting higher, which is going to continue to push the price to the downside. Not that the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is the main mover of Bitcoin price, and that's why we're grateful, but it is an indication that investors will use to trade and buy and sell. So you got to kind of tick that off in the bearish category of indications for Bitcoin's price. Let's go look at our coin market cap open this morning here. Let's look at the top 10, top 20, see what's moving and what's grooving. Bitcoin up 0.3, nothing significant. Ethereum only 0.2. Tether doing exactly what we want it to do, nothing. BNB up 0.7. XRP, one of the few down here in the top 10, joining Cardano, but again, not anything significant within the last 24 hours. Dogecoin, the biggest gainer, it looks like. Nope, Solana's a little bit bigger than it in the top 10. Tron close to it, but Doge up 1.16. Maybe does that have to do with some announcements about X? Solana, again, 1.94. Tron 1.0. Let's see. Is there anything else in the top 20? Shiba Inu up 5.3%. Very, very interesting. Let's take a look at our top gainers, top losers, though, overall. And I do believe this only takes into account the top 200. So if you're saying like there's some little coin that most people never heard of, it's not going to get registered here on the top movers. But XDC, once again, maybe we'll take a look at XDC because it is up as the top mover once again. 40% in the last 7 days, almost 8% within the last 24 hours. This is one of those coins definitely moving explosively. Following right behind it, Casper is another coin that's been doing some cool stuff. Although Casper and Caspa, man, those are so close, and yet I knew it was different because I was like, not the same symbol there. But Casper rather than Caspa is up this morning, guys, almost matching XDC. Actually, right now as we're saying this, it's up higher than XDC in the last 24 hours. But who else do we have moving? Frac, Share, GMX. OKB. Shiba Inu, as we said, is up pretty large. Let's take a look at our top losers, though. Nothing crazy, but Woo Network is the biggest loser, down 4.18. Technically speaking, it says now Stacks is outdoing it, but again, it must have changed literally before we hit that refresh button. Litecoin, one of the top coins up there, it is sitting at number 4 on biggest losers. Let's take a look at 7 days. XTC is a top gainer, 40%. Let's see top losers. Compound almost down 20% within the last 7 days. I wonder if we're going to see Litecoin jump into this. Give it a couple more days. Give it maybe a week removed from that Litecoin halving. Are we going to see Litecoin join the top 7 biggest losers of the days? Well, guys, it is time to go ahead and jump over and do some TA this morning. But before we do that, once again, guys, 80 of you are in here. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Our technical analysis, we'll give it away, is brought to you by Chart Prime. Everybody, you guys know we love these indicators. They are the best out there for trading. And once again, we're also brought to you guys by BITGET. We have a new sponsorship with them. Once again, if you guys are wondering, what are you talking about, Tim? Where can I see more about this BITGET? Well, look right there. There's a BitGet sign right there. We have a partnership with them. If you use our link down below and set up a new account, you will get a free $20 for the free price of free. Do whatever you want with that $20. Trade it, eat it, give it to your child, whatever you want to do. It's yours, but you got to sign up with our account to get a hold of that. And you only have 4 more days because it does end on August 7th. Take advantage of it today. Let's jump in here and take a look at the Bitcoin charts. Like we said, not a lot moving. Even yesterday, there wasn't a whole lot of volatility. We did make it all the way up towards 29.4 almost, but we also dropped yesterday down below 29,000. So what is Bitcoin about to do? Starting off green here this morning, let's take a look at what our oscillators are saying. Kind of sitting in a similar boat. We're not really doing anything. We're trading sideways here. On the RSI, it's closer to that lower range. So maybe you make a small estimation like, hey, there's more room to the upside than downside, but there's absolutely still room to the downside. And that's why we talked about yesterday, these larger time frames, there's definitely still room. We are not overextended. We are not oversold. We absolutely could be seeing the price continue to tick down here towards 28K. And in fact, that's a prediction we made here over 2.5 weeks ago, that potentially we should be watching for a later August, maybe 19th or 20th of August, to see a $28,000 Bitcoin that comes back and touches this rising blue level of support. And sure enough, there's a lot of things kind of in the equation that are kind of leading us in that direction. Let's take a look at some other indicators, though. Another reason why Dynamic Reactor and Trend Assistant are both sitting right down there at 28, and you can see it's very much rounding off. So could we see, as the Dynamic Reactor that has been rising, as it rounds off, do we find a meeting point again with that rising blue level right there at 28,000 as well? Let's take a look at support and resistance again, guys. Nothing coming in at this range. That's why we have the top of this T box here at 28.6. It has been touched once, actually dropped a little bit below that, but I do expect, the statement to be true, guys. Where you candle wick, you will candle stick. I think that we're still coming down here, guys. And we cannot, even right now, you can see even with that volatility yesterday, we could not get back above that really strong resistance right there at 29,354. That, of course, is the 4-hour and 12-hour strong resistance we're coming in here. That's the strongest resistance we have on the charts. Let's take a look at some other things, though. Let's take a look at what Fibonacci is saying. Let's take a look at what our fixed range volume profile is saying and get a little bit better of a picture. I want to go back all the way to this one right here. Let's see here. You guys can see we're struggling to even get back above. Not only do we have the strong resistance from Chart Prime telling us, hey, 29.3 is a strong level of resistance, that's also the value area low. And when you've lost the value area low and you're turning it into resistance, guys, that is a bearish sign for sure. So one more reason to suspect that we'll probably have more chance of going to the downside than the upside. If we do get some form of a rally, though, if we do pop up and the bulls can take some form of control, keep your eyes on the point of control right here at 30,300. Another level you guys can see that we have been wrestling with back up here when we were higher and using this 29.6 level as support. We were bouncing, could not really break and close any candles on the daily chart above that level. So it's another one to definitely be keeping your eyes on. Let's take a look at Fibonacci levels, though, as well here and see what they are saying about some more short-term movement to the downside. Let's go back to that dip we had back in June. all the way up to right now what is the top of this pre-bull market rally. You guys can see price is really hovering right there around 0.382. But we do have the 0.5 come in all the way down at 28.3 and or so. Again, it's very normal, just like here, for wicks to drop below those levels. So all the more reason, again, I still believe that 28,000 even is going to be an interesting spot to keep your eye on. But if the bears really pick up momentum, keep your eyes. We had another T-box drawn down here. Keep your eyes on this level of 27.4 to about 27.2 as well, because that would be our golden pocket on Fibonacci. You definitely want to be prepared for anything. That's kind of what we're seeing here on Bitcoin this morning. Again, price moving to the downside. I'm sorry. I wish I could be bullish on this Friday. You guys know that Friday is about being positive, but let's be positive here. That means cheaper Bitcoin to buy. So anyone who wants to DCA, anyone who wants to acquire more Bitcoin, you should be getting some better prices coming in very, very soon. Let's take a look at XRP this morning, though, guys, as we continue to drop. Again, closing yesterday's candle at the lowest we've had in a while, ever since back on that explosive July 13th, the day we heard that the Judge Torres, in presiding over the Ripple versus SEC case, said that XRP is not a security. Well, one of us was not convinced that that meant that it was just up, up, and away. I had been saying since the day this happened, guys, watch for a revisit to 55 cents. I've kind of updated and saying, hey, there's an outside chance 57 is the bottom, but I like this T-box I have drawn right here. This has been very strong resistance for a long time. I've talked about that before, guys. You just don't blow through levels of key support and resistance without revisiting it one more time. And sure enough, you can say it's the recent news that we now have federal judges coming out and saying that they do not agree with Judge Torres and that XRP absolutely still could be considered a security. You could blame it on that, or you could say, you know what, Tim called this back a couple weeks ago, and maybe the charts actually are predictable based off of the charts. Whatever you want to believe, it does look like we are heading down. Let's take a look at our oscillators and things going on here. You guys can see money flow definitely continues to drop here. We are not overextended on anything here on the daily chart, which means I know a lot of people talked about 65 cents, 64 cents, which technically we did wick down to 65. People were talking about that as a strong level of support. Guys, you tell me what you think. Yes, we're down lower than mid levels, but we are not overextended. To me, I do not believe the daily chart is telling us that these current prices of 65 cents are the bottom. I think it goes lower. And again, if we lose 64 cents, let's just go ahead and put a line there, because this is kind of, I've heard a lot of people who are talking about this dip saying, well, 64 is going to be our place that if we lose that, we have trouble. Well, I'm seeing how close we are to 64 cents as XRP continues to move to the downside. And if we hold there, good for XRP. But I do believe when we lose that level, it'll be the next good buy spot coming in here in our T-box. 55 to 57 cents continues to hold up. By the way, guys, another prediction that a lot of people don't like, but is still kind of proven to be true. Bitcoin dominance starting to make a little bit more of a rally. Now, on the daily chart, is getting a little more overextended. Definitely still has room to the upside. Don't expect a parabolic jump if we do go to 60%. And I'm being generous here, and I'm saying if, because I don't, I'll be open to being wrong here, but don't expect a straight, beeline with no volatility whatsoever. The dominance is still going to have its days where it's a little red and we have some up and down action, and some days it'll just be parabolic. But this is continuing to play out almost identically to what happened back in 2019. Let's remind you guys of that one more time, just in case you aren't tired of it just yet. This was the top back in 2019. You guys know, if you looked at the Bitcoin chart or the Ethereum chart or the Litecoin chart or any chart, we topped out in June of 19 in price action, and then everything began to drop. Well, guess what? The dominance rallied from 57 up to 73. There was a big jump in Bitcoin dominance as we're watching the same thing happen right here. All the naysayers saying 60% is not doable. Just go back to 2019. It's absolutely doable. And especially with the recent news we're getting here, there's some FUD coming out about the XRP case. That was a big catalyst for bulls. There's some FUD coming out against BlackRock even, as they're trying to launch a Bitcoin ETF. All the news is kind of backing up what the charts have been saying here for a while, and that is that 60% is absolutely still in the card. Now, I see French Toaster just commented, Ben Cohen knows his stuff. And by the way, Ben Cohen does know his stuff. But I actually believe that I was talking about 60% before Ben Cohen. Someone can prove me wrong, but maybe Ben Cohen watches Investing Bros. Maybe Ben Cohen is Jack Meoffer.
Maybe.
And that's his fake account to come in and watch the Investing Bros to get all of his alpha information. Listen, if Ben Cohen watches the channel, you need to watch the channel. Make sure you're subscribed for content every single day. By the way, Ben Cohen, if you are Jack Meoffer, no offense, please come on. I would love to have you come on the show and break this down, because I do believe you and I are aligned in a lot of our beliefs about what the market is doing right now. But that's what we're seeing right there. Let's take a look. Last coin we're going to look at this morning, and then we're going to answer some chat. Litecoin continues to drop right on schedule, guys. This is another one we had been calling, that Litecoin peaks out just a couple of weeks before the actual halving event, and then it drops. It is right on schedule. We are getting a small oversold flash here on the daily chart, so definitely keep your eyes on that. But you guys can see when looking at oscillators, there's absolutely a lot more room to go to the downside. Money flow after rallying here is curling over, starting to come back down. The RSI, yes, is down at 20, but that's not even the lowest it's been at recently. I am expecting, watch for rematches of price actions, at least back down here towards 66 cents. We talked about it yesterday. I think an interesting spot to keep your eye on would be coming back down towards 50. I think we said 55 cents is a level we definitely want to keep our eyes on. Let's look at Fibonacci all the way from this bottom all the way to the top and look at some interesting levels here. 68, 68, 66 here, golden pocket. That's where we're getting our level. The platinum pocket there at 56 cents, 55 cent area. That's going to be an interesting one to see if Litecoin drops that far. Historically, that's more than likely what's going to happen. But we'll keep you posted on what happens there. But Litecoin still an interesting short for the next little bit. Let's go ahead, though, and go back to BroCam here, T-Shroom, and engage with chat for the next couple of minutes while we're waiting for the stock market to open. Did you see any good questions, any good comments in chat? Oop, T-Shroom, you there?
Yes.
You with me? Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah.
Sometimes those buttons.
Yeah. No, Peter Provost said Tim Warren knows his stuff. So you've got at least one fan out there, Tim.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
Thank you very. Army Piper said, I just had dinner last night with Rob from Digital Asset News. He is tight with Guy and Ben. I can get you contact info. Would love to have Rob on, talk more about that. That's pretty cool. Alex Green says, I'm actually Ben's boyfriend. Shall I call him for you? Interesting, Alex. Interesting. I don't think Ben has time. He has too many boyfriends. And you're British too, so that's another negative. Not for Cryptex. Cryptex, I think, could still pass the bill, but Alex, I don't think it works. Let's see what else do we have going on here. I see some usuals. Eric Wallen, I think, asking more about the hoodie. Let me tell you guys about the hoodie. First of all, hoodies are comfortable. Second of all, in this building, we crank the AC very nicely, so it makes it nice and comfortable. I do wear shirts from time to time. Not recently. When I play pickleball outside, let me tell you, dude, pickleball right now, it's been hot. I almost passed out one day from playing pickleball, and I was just in a t-shirt. So you know what? We're going to T-Shroom, mark this down. The first merch item we are going to offer is absolutely going to be an Investing Bros hoodie. And the first person allowed to purchase it is Eric Wallen. And we're going to make him purchase it for full price of $1,003. Everybody else will get it for a nicer price. But Eric Wallen deserves a very expensive hoodie with my face on it for his continued
I wrote it on my hand.
Eric, listen, I like Eric. But Eric he's quickly joining the ranks of Crypto Set Guy and Elliot Locke as people that go into the frenemies category. Loves to come in and give me a hard time. So time to recuperate. And is recuperate the right word? Retaliate. Retaliate is coming for you. What else do we have here? Eric Wallen says yes. Okay, yeah. Okay, so you heard it here first, guys. He just verbally agreed to pay $1,003 for a hoodie with Tim's face on it. Do not let him out of this contract. That is a done deal in the eyes of the law. What time do we have? It is 9:29. So we got one more minute here. ADA saying, what's the lowest we see ADA going? 10 cents, 14 cents. We've talked about that a little bit. ADA. Again, I want people to understand, it is at the moment, ADA is actually my largest altcoin bag, meaning Bitcoin is my largest holding just because it's Bitcoin. But when it comes to altcoins, I have more ADA than I have Ethereum. And I'm not just talking about obviously you have more ADA than Ethereum because the price is lower. I have more US dollar value of ADA than I have of Ethereum. I might be diversifying that a little bit out. I might throw a little bit of my ADA and like turn some of that more into XRP, as well as some more purchases of XRP when we see that 55 cent region. But I've been saying for a long time, I still believe this 18 cent, 14 cent region for Cardano is going to be kind of interesting to keep your eyes on here. Again, we talked about this yesterday. That's why I didn't do too much ADA TA today. But we lost another level of support right here. And guess what? Even though we didn't quite retouch this breakout that we just recently had, if you were to see when the last time we lost some key support down to this level that we kind of started, move that over to the breakout spot, that even right there gives us the prediction down here towards 18.2 cents. So I'm very much in the camp of saying I believe 18 cents is an interesting spot. I think if things continue to get bearish, 14 cents is going to get very interesting. I think if we lost 14 cents, though, what we're looking at in other projects, because I still believe what you do is you do your TA on Bitcoin and you watch what Bitcoin's price is doing, and then you use those same type of movements to try to help predict what you think that the altcoins will do as well. I think if we're talking about a 10-cent Cardano, we're probably also talking about back down to double bottoms Bitcoin. I think that another 15.5 for Bitcoin. And then you get into the camp of saying, well, what if Bitcoin gets to 11,000, the super bearish prediction? Now it's like, all right, well, could we revisit potentially a 5-cent, 3-cent Cardano? It's absolutely in the cards. I just don't think very likely. I'm still kind of keeping it. 18 cents is my realistic prediction. 14 cents is my kind of doomsday prediction, and a relative doomsday. Anything lower than that is like, man, crypto and altcoins are getting pretty rough. But thank you so much for that question, Ada Ace. Let's go ahead and get over to the stock market, though, T-Shroom. It is 9:32, which means it has been open here for 2 minutes. What are we seeing? What are some of your observations?
Absolutely. Oh, on the American stock market?
No, actually, today I want you to look at Portugal.
Okay, the Portuguese market. You know what,
Yes.
Tim? I am going to defy that request, and I'm going to look at the American stock market. Taking a look here, we're going to start off with energy. And we had a request to look at Amazon, so we're probably going to camp out looking at the Amazon charts here for a good amount of time. But before we get into that, we'll do a little market open here. What do you guys say? I hear a resounding yes, so we'll do just that. Energy coming up a little higher to this morning. Not what we want to see. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, though, guys. You are seeing energy coming back up. Index is opening up green here on the 4th of August. We're 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes into the New York session. Gotta love it. The NASDAQ is leading. Taking a look here at crypto, just a quick scroll. You're seeing green across the screen. Compound getting pummeled a little bit here, down 4.5% there. Your meme coins actually seeing a little green on the screen. All right, gold is coming up, silver coming down just barely. And then your mega cap tech stocks. Holy crap. Okay, so Amazon must have had earnings, and they're up 9.3% here in the morning in the New York session. They're trading into it, man. And I saw before the open it was up like 3%, but now it's really raging forward. I am glad that I have some exposure to Amazon. It's a good time for that. So there you go. Amazon definitely leading the market. That's going to help to potentially help pull the NASDAQ up off of its trend towards the Bollinger Band. So actually, before we go look at Amazon, let's go take a look here at the NASDAQ and see where it is on the daily. Yeah, so it was pulled down below the midline of the Bollinger Band. We were talking about this on Bro Time last night. And you can see now Amazon is helping with that 9% upside push the NASDAQ back up. And you're like, T-Shroom, what the heck? How is Amazon helping the NASDAQ? Well, the NASDAQ is an index that has hundreds of different companies inside of it. It's indexing what the stock market is, especially, and it has a little bit of a weight towards tech, right? And so when I say that the Amazon is helping out the NASDAQ, I mean that Amazon is doing its part, being a team player within the team that is the NASDAQ, of helping move it back up, right? It's a bullish movement there. So taking a look at Coinbase, they had their earnings yesterday, and I'd have to say it wasn't a bearish outcome. It was a bullish outcome, although they did report, that they're still not in profit, it looks like. So we'll get to those stories here in just a few minutes. But don't be shocked. There's a lot of companies that are not in profit. Those are called growth companies, right? They're selling promise. Tesla did that for a long time. Most companies these days are selling promise. They are not yet in profit. Okay, taking a look here at the big banks, you can see that it's mostly green across the screen. You are seeing Citi and Schwab sell off a little bit, but not even that much. Occidental Petroleum here looks like it's, Marathon Gas leading the big oil higher. And then your crypto miners here all doing pretty well except for BitF, which is Bit Farms, I believe. So other than that, you're seeing a decent rotation back into risk assets this morning. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at Amazon before we go too much further. But the overall narrative this morning is a little bit risk on, right? So the market kind of got lulled to sleep with the Nasdaq making a move lower, Bitcoin kind of going sideways and lower. And the market kind of fell asleep. They're like, maybe I'll go ahead and just kind of take the day off and go to the park, walk the dog. Well, if you did that, you missed out on this big Amazon play. Amazon rocking the market back awake and saying, hey, it's Friday, baby. We're headed into the weekend, but it's not the weekend yet. We're still got a whole trading session to go. So don't take your eyes off the screen, guys. There's always going to be opportunities out there, and Amazon just making it abundantly clear. It's under a buy rating here from Chart Prime. It's under a buy rating on the daily, and it has a green trend assistant there. So things are looking up for Amazon. I would like to know a little bit more. I'll probably do maybe a short or some videos, maybe come out Monday with some information on exactly why Amazon is popping so hard this morning. But it's good to see, and it could be the saving grace for the Nasdaq to bring a little bit more blood back into risk assets and push the Nasdaq back up above that midline of the Bollinger Band, so that bulls and trading algos can see that and go, boom, let's buy back in. So that's going to be kind of my analysis, is a little bit of return to risk this morning. So it's good to see that's going to be the market open, kind of wrapping up early because we got headlines and we've got Crypto Grind here at 9:50. It's not long before he's going to be joining the show and giving us his picks and maybe engaging in a little bit of conversation. But we do need the like button to be hit to get to that 130 goal.
We had a super chat from Eric Wallen saying, let's get to 200 likes and I'll stop making fun of Tim's hoodies forever. Well, you can make fun of my hoodies. I'll make fun of your non-hoodie and then your $1,003 purchase of a hoodie with Tim's face on it. But thank you so much for the money, Eric Wallen. That'll go into our branding of that hoodie because you do have to pay people to design stuff. But thank you so much for that. Guys, we have a couple announcements here this morning. First of all, T-Shroom, what are you doing tonight at 5 p.m.?
At 5 p.m., Tim, Eastern Standard Time, I'll be on the Evan Aldo YouTube channel. We're going to be talking macro. We're going to be talking Fed. We're absolutely going to be talking about a little coin called Bitcoin. Maybe you've heard of it. And we're just going to be discussing kind of maybe the future of prices. Evan's a really good technical analyst. We had him on 2 weeks ago, and he brought the heat. Yeah. And we got to have some good conversations there. So the conversation's not going to stop, though, because tonight it's going to be continued at 5 p.m., over on his channel. I believe we've tweeted out the link to his channel a few times. It's not in our description today, but a simple search on Google or YouTube will render the result that you need, which is an opportunity to subscribe to Evan Aldo. With that said, we also have a really good new sponsor, which is BitGet. And you can go down into the description. There is a link for BitGet. You may be surprised there, but right now, guys, you can get $20 free for yourself when you go sign up and click the link in our description. But this offer does not last forever. You have to get down there. August 7th is the cutoff, so make sure you get down there around then.
Yeah, well, we did have an unfortunate thing. We're going to jump into headlines here in a second, but we tried to risk it because there was something going on that kept kicking people out of the stream, and it didn't seem to be ads. But I don't know why, T-Shroom. It looks like people are still getting kicked. It looks like ads are still coming. Yeah, stream cut, Omar CRS says. So I don't know at this point. We got to figure this one out, T-Shroom here. We'll meet this weekend and play more with this and do some research because it's pretty ridiculous. But let's go ahead and move into our headlines anyway for the 29 people still watching here. People will be able to jump back on in just a second. What do we got for the headlines this morning, T-Shroom?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get into it here. So Biden, maybe you've heard of him. He sells the Dark Brandon coffee mug a cup of Joe never tasted better. So you've seen this picture. It's all over the internet of him sipping the mug. It's on our thumbnail now. And, it kind of begs the question, is Joe Biden a Bitcoin Maxi? Tim, what do you think? Is this a big shout out to Bitcoin?
No, not at all. In fact, we all knew it wasn't even when we saw it, but it really did make you curious because I don't know if you guys saw the video. He just drinks out of the coffee mug, which do we even know if he's drinking anything? I don't know. And then he says, I like my coffee dark. And it was very strange. Like, what the heck is he trying to communicate with us? Well, I did some research this morning over on Bard, asking it, what does Biden mean when what does he mean to imply with his laser eyes, pretty much? And it picked up on the video, and it gave me an interesting answer that I didn't know was a thing. It says the laser eye meme started on the political right as a way to mock Joe Biden. So I had never seen anyone put laser eyes on him to mock him, because that, again, it's a Bitcoin thing. But anyway, it depicted him with glowing red eyes, often accompanied by captions suggested he was sinister or even an evil figure. However, the meme was quickly co-opted by the left, who began using it to express their support for Biden. In the context of the meme, laser eyes can be interpreted in a number of ways. Some people see them as a symbol of Biden's strength and determination. I don't know how that's a thing. I would never look at the red eyes like that and say that makes him strong. Again, maybe it makes him a Bitcoin person, but not strong. Let's see what else it says. They also say it's a way to express his laser-like focus on his agenda. And I told T-Shroom, I don't know if you had the video. Do you guys remember that meme? It's like Biden, they're asking about it. Is he still focused? He's like, I'm focused. And I'm just like, yeah, his laser eye focus on his agenda. Still others see him as a way to poke fun at his age. Yeah, so it's one of those things. Okay, and here comes dark. What's he thinking about dark? I guess the right memes were saying dark Brandon, like they're calling him a sinister figure. So with him kind of taking that on and saying, I like my coffee dark, it's just very creepy, T-shirt. Like, the whole thing is very creepy and not well thought out. Whoever is his social media manager and he's just listening to blindly, it makes sense, actually, now that we're walking out with our voices. They don't know what they're doing over there. They have no idea. They cannot help but put their own feet in their mouth. This just was not a good look for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah. So I think my take on this is that they're trying to have a similar success on social media that Trump had, because Trump, he knows how to get people going on social media. It seemed like when he was president, it seemed like every week there was something that had the media going into a frenzy, and of course that poured over into Twitter and social media, and everybody couldn't stop talking about Trump, whether it was he was standing in front of a building with a Bible, or whether or not he was making a funny face or saying something about a handicapped person. It was always, he was trending, right? And Biden is I think he's trying to do the same thing, trying to stir up a little bit of suspicion, stir up a little mystery. But the thing is like, he ran as an establishment candidate. He's an establishment president. He's seen as just kind of a wallflower. You just do what you need to do, and at times where there has to be a tough decision, he's the one who takes the buck stops with him, but he's not in there to change anything really. So I don't know why he feels the need to try to stir the pot or try to create sensation. That's more for a president who's trying to change stuff. And of course Biden, he is trying to change some things, but he's not trying to change the whole concept of what Trump was trying to do, trying to drain the swamp, trying to change everything. So anyway, that's my 2 cents, the T-Shroom take, as it were. But yeah. So what's crazy is that's not the only story. It may seem like that's the only story in the world right now. It's not, luckily. So let's see what else we can dig up here in our headlines. Coinbase, getting into the little bit of the price action there, what might be behind it. So they said that we do think that we can win the SEC lawsuit, says Coinbase. That's not really the story that we're covering today, but that is important as well. They think that they can win that lawsuit. The company posted a loss per share of 42 cents, meaning they're not profitable, beating analyst expectations of a loss per share of 76 cents. So it's bullish. So even though they're losing money, they're still bullish because of the promise of what Coinbase could be in the future. The company reported adjusted revenues of $708 million, which again beat expectations of 628 million, according to FactSet analysis. And there's a lot more to break down there, but we want to keep moving because we want to have plenty of time for crypto grinds in about 5 minutes here. Taking a look here, another Coinbase story. They're set to public launch of Base Layer 2 next week. So this is pretty exciting. Base went live for developers in July so that they could test applications on the new network. Starting Tuesday, users will be able to bridge their Ether to Base. There's a lot more details, but just one is companies participating, including Coca-Cola, gaming powerhouse Atari. I don't know that they're a powerhouse anymore. Wow, that's a strange word. But and non-fungible token platform OpenSea, which is a little bit more expected. I don't know how Atari is being classified as a gaming powerhouse. I mean, they certainly got gaming kicked off, but I don't know that they're a powerhouse. Anyway, there's a lot more to come here, guys, with this new Base Layer 2 for sure. That's definitely going to create a ton of ripples here, and it will be going live August 9th. We've got a little bit more news here from Asia. Hong Kong lawmaker to explore digital asset link with mainland China. So just continuing headlines and the potential China thaw towards crypto. We won't get too much into the details there. And then our last headline, I believe, is that WorldCoin bug allowed everyone to become orb operators. Not everyone, anyone. So Tim, you could just walk out on the street, do a little bit of verification on your smartphone, maybe on a website, and then all of a sudden, boom, you can go collect the information for anybody.
How much do one of those orbs cost?
I don't know. No idea. I don't know that you're really paying for it. You're probably sent it in the mail once you have identified your own identity. I don't know. I don't want to speculate because it's kind of pointless. The point of this is that it's a pretty flawed system, right? For a system that's
absolutely.
It's
a flawed system by a flawed company is ultimately what we're talking about here.
Yeah, a company that is trying to go around and collect everyone's identity to try to distinguish people from AI. Okay, there's something there. There's a little bit of value there, but the way they're going about it, collecting iris scans, is overly burdensome. It's overly it's too much going into someone's life. And trying to take that level of data when there's a lot of other things you could get to try to verify their identity. So now that they can't even get this right, the security of the orbs, the things that go ahead and certify people's identity, that's what's really worrying to me, and seems like it's worrying to a lot of other onlookers there. So I think that's probably not a bad place to cut off the headlines section and go ahead and see and bring crypto grinds on. What do you think, Tim?
Well, yeah, I think the last thing we'll mention is here. I want to know in chat how many of you guys will do this. Of course, yesterday, some other big news that hit the space was X.com.
Oh, yes.
They're going to now be allowing you to trade your stocks in crypto via X.com. And I put a tweet out about it. And again, I think we're still calling them tweets at this point until we get any other instruction. How many of you guys will actually trade on X.com? Initial thoughts are that they're going to be partnering with eToro. I know there were some rumors out there that they might be building their own platform. It does look, at least at this point, like Elon is denying those rumors, but who knows? I would be a bigger fan if they did build their own platform, because I don't know about the rest of you. eToro sucks. I was even verifying this yesterday. eToro, when you buy any or sell any crypto, takes 1%. So again, for every $1,000, you have to pay $10 to buy that $1,000. So now you get $999 or $990, and then if I want to sell it, I have to pay another 1%. And so it's one of those things. I'm like, man, I think at this point, until I hear something different, if it's true they're using eToro, I'm going to be in the no category on purchasing and trading on X.com. And Elon, you got to fix that, man. You got to find something better. Don't just go with it because it's one of the places that is very friendly to Doge. Back in the day, the only time in my life I've ever bought Dogecoin was on eToro. It was the only one I could find that would allow me to buy it, and it was the worst experience of my life for two different reasons. One, buying Dogecoin. Two, using eToro. If that's his reason for doing it, because of the relationship that eToro and Doge has, do better, Elon. Come on. I know you love Dogecoin, but find an actual product that works and that people would actually want to use. It's, I guess, on the level of like Coinbase, or not Coinbase, let's on the level of like a low trading fee. Let's say, isn't Robinhood free? Let's just pretend Robinhood wasn't what they are and they actually let you buy like all the crypto on it. Robinhood trading fees are free, or buying fees are free?
It's free. Everything's free.
All right. So on a scale of Robinhood to a Bitcoin ATM, eToro is going to be in the middle, but it's getting really close to that ATM of how stupid it is to purchase your crypto from it. That's the one thing I'll give Robinhood. As many other problems I have with Robinhood, and I know T-Stream, you love it because it also allows you to buy stocks, which is kind of cool.
I love it.
Listen, I would prefer to have Robinhood than eToro. I'll put it that way for sure. Robinhood gets my vote of confidence over eToro. So
yeah.
Let me know in chat what you guys think about that.
With that said, I will say that Robinhood did not do a good thing by taking Cardano and Polygon off their platform.
Yeah,
it's a compliance.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah. All right. Without further ado, Crypto Grind, how are you doing this morning? And where are you coming from? Where are you coming to us from?
Yeah, I'm all good, thanks. It's good to be back. In South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa.
There we go. Yeah.
Cold here today, but you know what? We keep going.
Awesome. Now,
that's right.
Before we get started, the BRICS the BRICS nations are actually supposed to be having a meeting in Johannesburg. Are you tracking this at all?
I'm not watching it all that closely. I do know that they are coming. I know that there has been a whole thing about blocking Putin from coming here. He's decided he's not going to be coming along.
Yeah, he's coming through video, but no worries, man.
Joining on Zoom.
No worries, man. Well, we want to try to give you as much time as possible. So what are some picks from the crypto gem hunters that you guys have gotten for us, and what are some that you specifically are thinking are really going to be some high flyers?
Yeah, so I've got two that I've picked up. The first one is Myria, and the other one is GFL. And the reason why I've got both of them is they are really new metaverse projects that seem to be competing against each other. For some reason, people seem to fall into the camp of either Myria or GFL. Both very low market caps. They're sitting at just under $10 million, the both of them. I think Myria's, I can bring my screen up here. Myria's sitting at about $7 million. GFL just a bit higher at just over 10 million. So both extremely low market caps. And the difference that they bring to the metaverse space is that they actually have teams behind them who have been in the gaming universe before, in Web 2. Both of them have got teams from Blizzard and Activision. The CEO of GFL was really high up in Blizzard. Their CSO was the founder of EA Sports. So they understand the gaming industry really well. And I think this is what separates the two of them from a lot of the other metaverse projects in the crypto space. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of metaverse projects. I do think that you can invest your money elsewhere. And one of the reasons why is that there's no real business model for gaming companies to bring their games onto Web3. And I think Myria and GFL sort of differentiate themselves quite a bit because they have people who have been in the industry before. And also they are bringing games to across platforms. So GFL, for example, are trying to target PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, as well as mobile gaming. And they're also saying we don't have to have games on Web3. We can put the games, maybe just a marketplace on the blockchain, and the rest of the game is sitting on Web 2 because there's no need to have it sitting on Web 3. Myria is pretty similar. I think Myria, the real differentiator between the two, Myria is sitting as a layer 2 on Ethereum, where GFL is Binance Smart Chain. So Myria is pretty much competing with your Immutable X's. And if you have a look at their actual sort of pricing, they are 150x away from where Immutable X is right now. And Immutable X is a 10x down from its all-time high. So if you're looking at it just straight up like that, Myria could be a 1000x in the long term, although the tokenomics are not necessarily the best. it is probably a good DGen play. Now we're talking DGen here on a Friday. So Myria could be that DGen play. GFL also tokenomics not great, slightly better than Myria in some respects. But both of them definitely, I think, will do well in the bull run, typically just because they have real solid projects behind them. It's not just a game that has been developed, sort of quickly within 5 minutes. It's actually something that they're putting time and effort into develop these games, and have platforms that other developers can deploy their games on as well. So now, those are my two picks to DGens.
Yeah, crypto grinds, real quick. So the project you're saying, and I want to make sure I'm saying it, Myriad is the project you're saying is good, or that's the one that it's like?
So Myria is very much like your Immutable X, yeah.
Okay, Immutable X, yeah.
And GFL is on the Binance Smart Chain, so it's different from that regard. But yeah.
But they're both good.
Well, and I like what you're saying here, because I love the thought of, hey, it is 1,000x from where Immutable X is right now. Immutable X is 10x lower than it's a 10x from hitting its all-time high. It's great stuff, but could you maybe speak a little bit more? And maybe you did a little bit more, but I want you to elaborate. Is it realistic for it to match its price? What are the arguments for realistically matching its price and doing it at 1,000x? Because we say it's a good call, and I think what I'm with you on is, hey, they're clearly going to be a big game in this. The game is a really well-produced game. But is it realistic to hold for that 1,000x, or where is a more realistic place? Should people wait for a 500x, 200x? What arguments are there to say we should see it get to the exact same value as the other one?
Well, what I think you can do for Myria itself, its tokenomics and the amount of tokens that it has, very similar and pretty much identical to Gala. So you can always look at the Gala charts from the previous bull run and then track it up. But I think that they have a bit more to offer when it comes to their scaling and so on, compared to like an Immutable X. An Immutable X is a good project. It's done pretty well. So there is that chance. I think there's a high chance that it will get to Immutable X's all-time high at least, which would be your 1,000x. Although having said that, I probably wouldn't hold waiting for that 1,000x. You got to be smart about it. If you are 200x in profit, start taking profit, because there's no guarantee that it is going to do that 1,000x.
Right.
But the fact that they have a good team, a good foundation, that they're building something really solid behind it, they've got the good platform, they're inviting devs, they've got a really nice sort of dev program where they're inviting devs to come and deploy things on their platform as well. They're setting themselves up really nicely to have something solid. So I think the chances there, it's pretty good that it will do that 1,000x, but it's going to probably take a bit more time, maybe even past the next bull run, but I wouldn't hold specifically for the 1,000x. You've got to sort of be smart.
That's solid. Yeah. And it's one of those things, again, I think you're absolutely right. It absolutely could. Like, for all we know, it passes Immutable X and goes even crazier than 1,000x, but always want to be protecting your investments and looking for good take profits here. Well, before we let you go, because we have like 2 minutes, any other coin that's hot on your radar right now, or any coin that you're sitting here saying, hey guys, be a lot of hype right now? You got a wolf in the background as well. Beautiful beast back there. Anything that you're saying, hey, be very cautious. A lot of people are bullish about this right now, but be cautious. Anything on your radar?
Yeah, I think you guys pretty much spoke about it, but WorldCoin would be the one for me. I would say be cautious of. It's seen a lot of hype, but there's nothing really good behind it. So from my mind, that would be the one. Be seriously cautious about WorldCoin. They've come out of nowhere. They have really bad tokenomics. If we want to talk about Myria and GFA having bad tokenomics, WorldCoin's even worse. Yeah. So it's not a good investment. It's hype. It's dangerous, and that's the one I would definitely warn people against.
And you're saying GFI, because I think Matt's
games for a living.
Okay, and what's the ticker on that?
GFAL.
GFAL. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think awesome. Super cool. Yeah. I also think that gaming is going to be pretty big. There's so many gaming projects out there. Maybe just it's just so hard to whittle them all down. But hey, that's why we have the crypto gem hunters come on and try and sift through all the different names and try to bring a little bit of shining light through. But guys, definitely do your own research. I mean, we're shouting out GFAL today, games for a living, and then also the other name was Mira, which is MYRIA. These are not financial advice, guys. These are go do your own research on these. We are partnered with the Crypto Gem Hunters to come on Fridays to help give a little bit of idea of maybe some of the gaming tokens that could be better than others.
Yeah, I would definitely say do your own research when it comes to these. And like I said at the beginning, it seems to be people say it's one or the other. And I don't think it has to be that way. Both of them seem to be good projects. Split your portfolio or go 60-40 on your favorite one, but I think they're both worth holding for the bull run.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Well, thank you so much, Crypto Grinds, for coming on once again, bringing us some DGen Alpha. Make sure you guys go follow him on his Twitter account, follow him on YouTube, and check out those Gem Hunters. It's always great content. With that said, though, guys, it is Friday, 10:01. We're gonna figure this out this weekend, guys. We're gonna figure why YouTube hates us. We're gonna get all the way through streams again, one way or another. But thank you once again for all of your guys' support throughout it all. You guys know here at Investing Bros, technical difficulties just seem to come, and yet we're never gonna stop. You can't stop us, YouTube. With that said, you guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.